everybody, listen up. This is my brand new Facebook page. It's Walter Lee Hampton II. Take a look at those pictures on there. It's a new page. This is the one I need you all to go to and add me as a friend. Send me a friend request to this page. Look for those pictures. Walter Lee Hampton II. This is my new Facebook page. It's up. It's set up. I'm loading pictures. Go there and add me as a friend today. Do it now.
His friends and family are honoring a man killed in a crash yesterday. Police say an unlicensed teenage driver caused the wreck. The man's family gave us these pictures today. They say he will be greatly missed. Channel 2's Tyisha Fernandes is live in the city of South Fulton. And Tyisha, so many people knew him in that area.
Jovita, he grew up in this area and he worked here too. Every single person I talked to today, friends, family, acquaintances, all talked about how much of an awesome human being McKeever was. Take a look. Police say a teenager killed him right here at this intersection. And if you take a look over here, that is why people who love Mac said that they put this memorial here. They just cannot believe he's gone.
He's going to be missed. This devastating.
When Kerry Gates heard that his best friend McKeever was killed in an accident Monday morning, he did not want to believe it.
And once I got that call, I had to make calls because it was just so unbelievable. I couldn't go with the first thing I heard.
It was true. McKeever was driving his yellow work truck down Flat Shoals Road near Old National Highway in the city of South Fulton. Police say a 16-year-old girl who had just stolen her mom's car was also driving on Flat Shoals in the opposite direction. She was distracted by something and crashed. She survived. Mac didn't.
I'm so lost on that part. Angry, but yet I'm not angry because, this is some shit I have to live with.
While relatives try to comfort his 8-year-old daughter and explain why her father is gone, they can't understand why this unlicensed teen driver hasn't been charged or arrested. Police told me it's still an open investigation. The victim was on a flag football team and a kickball team. His teammates are honoring him at a game Tuesday night. They all want police to charge this teen as an adult.
She needs to sit and understand that not only did she mess up her life, but she messed up the life of Mac, his daughter, his family, close friends.
I will stay in contact with police, so as soon as they decide on what the charges will be for this teenager and if they're going to charge that teen as an adult, we will share that information as soon as we get it. We're live in the city of South Fulton. Tyisha Fernandes, Channel 2 Action News.
Good morning, my faithful YouTube subscribers. Today it is Saturday, June 22nd, the year 2019. So you just saw that report where a young father was in a horrific accident. His name was Sean McKeever. He was a father. He was in his work vehicle. Sean McKeever. He was killed. They're saying that the girl was 16 years of age, but she really was 15 years of age. She took her mother's rental SUV without permission and was driving and distracted somehow when she crashed head on into McKeever's landscaping truck. He had a landscaping business. Police said the truck was hit so hard. The truck was hit so hard it was unrecognizable. And if you saw that video and you saw that yellow truck, I was trying to figure out what kind of truck it was. It was smashed to pieces. He died on the scene immediately. So you have a situation where a very young child, 15 years of age, took a car without permission, drove it recklessly down the street. At this point, she has not been charged yet, and this incident took place on, I'm trying to get the correct date. It happened, it was updated on June 18th, but I think this happened before that. I don't have the exact date that it happened. It happened on Monday. So I guess it happened this past Monday. Was it this past Monday? But you have a 15-year-old girl who took her mother's rental car and caused a horrific accident. And they're trying to figure out if they're going to charge her as an adult or not. The family members, of course, of the deceased say that she made an adult decision. She needs to sit and understand that not only did she mess up her life, but she messed up the life of Mac his daughter, his family, close friends, anyone who came in contact with him. A hardworking young black man who, very young, I think he was, gosh, I want to see his age on here. They don't list his age. But however, he was very young, and maybe his age was listed in the article. So what should happen to this 15-year-old girl? She's 15 years of age. She ran out, she took a car without permission, and obviously she has no driver's license. She should not have been behind the wheel of the car. Took her mother's rental car. I can imagine this young lady has probably been an out of control teenager for quite some time. I'm assuming they haven't said anything about her, much about her at all, because she is a minor at this point. But when they make the decision to charge her as an adult, if they make that decision, we'll probably learn a little bit more about her and her family life, and what kind of background she came from, and all that type of stuff. But clearly, she took that vehicle, and I don't think she set out with intentions to harm anybody with that car. But she did. She killed someone. And it's kind of tragic because, you have a father who's deceased, and you have a 15-year-old child who's now facing some very serious charges at 15 years of age. And you kind of wonder out, you're trying to figure out, well, which direction should this go? Should she be tried as an adult, which could get her years in prison? If they try as a juvenile, she probably would, I don't know what the outcome would be if this case stayed in juvenile court, which I kind of doubt it's going to stay in juvenile court. Now, when you got a dead man on the side of the highway because someone tragically taking a vehicle, stealing a car, so that's when she stole the vehicle from her mother without her permission. She stole it, and she's driving without a driver's license. She's underage, flying in this truck, SUV that she was driving. There's a lot of issues here, and the mother's going to be probably held responsible for the damages and all that stuff, because if I'm correct, it's been a while, but if I'm correct, if a person is renting a vehicle and someone else is driving that vehicle without your permission, I don't think the insurance companies will cover that yet. Maybe some of you all can answer that question for me. If I rent a car, I just tend to be the driver of the vehicle. When I rent it, I don't let anybody else drive that vehicle. But I was under the impression that if you rent a vehicle and somebody else is driving that vehicle and they have a wreck of some sort, that it won't be covered. So I don't really know the answer to that. It don't even matter, because at this point, you have a man who's deceased. The value of these cars doesn't really make any sense. The vehicles that were destroyed, because you have a man's life that was destroyed. There was another article I was looking for, too, about some teenagers here in the Atlanta metropolitan area. These teenagers here in Atlanta are really out of control here. They lack discipline and control, and they just kind of run these streets recklessly. Whenever I see a group of these teenagers, I'm a big guy, and I've literally had to assist older people walking to their car because there'd be a crowd of teenagers around acting a fool, and these people are afraid of, so I say, I'll walk with you. And they're not even afraid of me, and I'll be walking with them, and they're saying crazy shit to these people. I'm like, well, I was like, why are y'all being so disrespectful? These kids are dangerous here. And I looked at, that was the report I was going to do. There's a report about the overcrowding in the Fulton County Jail. I wanted to add that into this, but I didn't get a chance to record it. But the Fulton County Jail is now substantially overcrowded. They have people sleeping on the floors in there. Well, people are complaining about this overcrowded condition, but y'all, we have some violent criminals in Atlanta who will kill you. They keep letting these young kids out over and over and over. The judicial system they get arrested, they get charged with some very serious crimes, and they're right back on the street, carjacking, assault, and in some cases murder, and they're allowed back out onto the streets of Atlanta to commit these crimes again. It's kind of like, okay, this is not making sense. These same people keep coming out and victimizing people in the community. It's funny because I was talking to Earl yesterday. We always have this conversation about these gas stations and how dangerous they are. And Eric called me one night not too long ago. He needed to get some gas too. He's like, man, I ain't going to these gas stations. He said he'd have to drive for miles to get to a gas station where he felt safe going to, just pumping gas. Because of these teenagers and these hood rat people just hang around in these gas stations, just crazy. There's always some type of activity at these gas stations. The only gas station I feel comfortable in East Atlanta going to is the Kroger, because they have security there. And they've had initially when they opened that Kroger store, they had so many problems at the gas station that they manned it with security and cameras. At one point, it was a police officer's car parked there all day long. So now that they've kind of cleaned that gas station up, now you can go over there and get gas and feel safe. Now, I'm not a big fan of Kroger's gas, particularly for a couple of my cars out there, but I do get it because I say, shit, at least I don't have to worry about some nigga, me having to risk my life to get some damn gasoline. I prefer Shell gasoline, but the only Shell station I know of is in this area. There's one on Moreland Avenue, and it tends to be a lot of crazy activity over there at nighttime. I'll try to go there during the daytime because I can use my Kroger gives discount points. That's why I like discounted gas. I like my Kroger discount points. I can use it at the Shell gas station there. But if not, I go to my ass Kroger and use that. I've saved as much as $1 a gallon going to Kroger's and getting gas. And I've never had a problem with the Kroger gasoline before. I don't know what you all think about Kroger gas, but I do use it because one of the main reasons why is it's a safe gas station. It's a grocery store right there. I can kill two birds with one stone. Pick up my groceries and go on over to that gas station and get a tank full of gas and get on down the highway. Not to do this during the daytime. But they say the Fulton County Jail is filled with all the bed space is overflowing with people on the beds, on the floors. And it's a scary proposition these days. How do you handle the crime in our communities? Do you let these people go back onto the streets where they can continue to commit crime after crime? I'm not talking about stealing a pair of stoplights and something from a grocery store. So these people are doing some serious crimes, carjacking, those sliders crimes, taking these cars and killing people in these vehicles, driving recklessly to the city. And these are all teenagers under the age of 20, or in their early 20s or late teens, early 20s. And they're doing some crazy shit in this town. And that's who they have in there locked up, is a bunch of violent young people. Well, what are they supposed to do with them? Let them back up free on the streets? Let them roam the streets again? There are several articles in the Atlanta Journal-Constitution where they've repeatedly allowed these folks to go free. And this one particular case, the judge kept giving this man chance after chance after chance. And he eventually ended up murdering a man who was in town from up north from a wedding. I think he was from the Washington, D.C. area, and he came downstairs came to Atlanta for a wedding. And he ended up getting killed outside of a country club by a guy who was attempting to rob them. And he robbed and then shot and killed one of them. They were waiting on an Uber car or something along the lines. I forget what tactics. But they're coming to find out the young man who did the killing, they did apprehend him. He had a record a mile long and had been in and out of jail repeatedly for violent crimes. Repeatedly. And it just escalated to now he's in jail for murder. This could have been eliminated. Some of these guys need to be in jail. Some of these kids need to be in jail so they can grow up and mature. There's carjacking, the assaults, violent crimes, breaking and entering. It's a whole lot of stuff. The community I live in now, at one point in time, they had a large group of Section 8 and tax credit help, but from my understanding, it was a lot of Section 8 here. They had to get rid of them. In fact, the unit that I live in right now, which is a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom townhouse, rent high as hell. But the young lady who lived here, they said she was Section 8 and she had a very low rent here. But there was a lot of teenagers here. And now, since I've moved in over the past few months, they've kind of got rid of a lot of these teens. When I first moved in, I said, wow, there's a lot of kids here. And they were just running wild. And now they as they're renovating the units and booting them out, they were kicking these people out left and right. They terminated the owner of the property, Alderho Properties, which owns a lot of property. If you know Atlanta, Alderho Property owns a lot of real estate here in Atlanta. A lot of these are old high schools that they converted into lofts and stuff. I don't know how he ended up on the Section 8 rolls. I can imagine the money because he's a Jewish guy. So he wanted that damn money. But he didn't realize what he was taking on with Section 8. Trust me, I've owned real estate and I had Section 8 housing before. And I said Section 8 was it was a catastrophe. And we took some rental properties and fixed them up really nice. And we got listened to everybody say, "Oh, we'll go to Section 8." We put Section 8 in there. It was a catastrophe. I couldn't believe my eyeballs how they lived. It was just everything would be destroyed. I was like, when you go over to the house, you see broke windows, and I'm like, we just put new windows in there. And every time I realized something that, and I know it's a little off track, but Section 8 rental is a tough market to rent to, where these people have no respect for the property they live in. Nice places. We even went as far as putting stainless steel appliances. We made them very nice homes for them niggas to tear that shit up. And I said, never again. And then after the end, when we started doing some more Section 8 property, we just slapped carpet on the floor and went and found used appliances because it didn't make no sense to put a bunch of new stuff in there for them to tear it up. And that's exactly, but that's another video about that Section 8 mess. But I'm finding that these young folks come from such horrible backgrounds that they don't care about nobody's life. I would love to know this young lady who grabbed this car. Maybe she made a mistake. She could be a straight A student. I doubt that. But we don't know. She could be a straight A student, a smart young lady who made a mistake. A horrible mistake. How will the courts? I'm sure the court system they're looking at. I'm sure they're interviewing her parents, interviewing the community, going to the school. They're going to take a close look at what type of person she is as a young lady, as a young child, before they make that decision. She's in South Fulton County, so you have a lot of people who are probably concerned about her well-being. On top of the fact that it's just a lot of. I don't know how they're going to move forward with this one. I haven't want to talk about it, but I was. It's a tough situation. You have a young child who made a horrific mistake. Should she pay for it by serving years in prison? She's only 15 years of age. She killed this man for I don't think she set out to do that, but when she took that car and recklessly drove up that highway at a high rate of speed and crashed head on into this individual who was minding his own business and was talking, it's just a lot of questions that need to be answered here about how the Fulton County will move forward with prosecuting her and her actions. You never know; they might throw some charges against the mother because the mother's saying that she stole the car, but did she really steal the car? And never know. The mother, I gave you keys and said, "Hey, go on the street, get some cigarettes." Now, I'll be very honest with you all. When I was living with my father in Mississippi, when I was 14, 15 years old, I was out in the country in Mississippi. My father would give me his car keys and say, run up the street to the store. And it was a country mile away, and I would drive up the street in his car, no license, no nothing. This is the middle of Mississippi, in the middle of no damn where, though. You wouldn't even pass a car. And I pick up my cousin, and we drive up the street to the store, into the city, and then come back. And, so that was a different world, different time. I was not racing down the highway. My father allowed me to drive that car. He would watch me drive his vehicle. Most of the time, he was with me. He was trusting me. It's a different area, y'all. This was well over. Let me do the math. I was probably about 14 years old. So that takes 49. Y'all know I'm old. 49 minus. Oh shit! What? I don't know. I was about 14. 35 years ago. If my math was right, maybe I was about 14, 15 years of age. That was a different world. I was out in the country, way out in the country. Way out in the country. Now when I drive up to the Mississippi, they've developed that area a lot more than when I lived out there with the daddy, which I had stayed my ass in Mississippi. Be a different world. I don't know. I really do feel sorry for this young lady. And it's been on my mind. I've been wanting to do a video about this situation. But I am curious to know you know, what type of person she was. And what impact is, what's done is done, it cannot be changed. However, it would be very interesting to see how this plays out over the next few weeks. And I think it's very sad that this happened to this young man. There's so much time, I spent a lot of time on this video talking about her, but we have a victim here. A man who was working hard, that everybody liked, living his life, living his best life, taking care of, actively involved in his children's lives. We always lose the good people. But we got all these bad-ass criminals ready to run around here, laid up in bed, sleep at Fulton County Jail, being fed and taken care of. But this man was out there on the streets working a good job, taking care of his family, being a responsible person. A responsible father. Somebody who was doing something for the community. And it's sad. It's hard to find decent black brothers who are actively involved in their children's lives. I know they do exist. A lot of them do exist. But we have to be honest. They are few and far in between. The vast majority of these guys have these children and disappear. And they're not actively involved in that. This man had just spent Father's Day with his daughter. And less than 24 hours later, he's deceased. Because of a child's poor decision to take her mother's rental car without her permission. And if I'm correct, they said that, I could be wrong about this, if I'm correct, they said the mother and child were having a disagreement or argument or a fight or something, and she took the car and fled in it. I'm not sure where she was going to, but I don't think she knows either. But anyway, so I just wanted to bring that video up. I'm sure a lot of you all have seen it. I'm very curious to know what you all think should happen to this young child. What are your thoughts? But it's 12 noon and I got to get out of here. Today is Saturday. I hope it's Saturday, June 22nd. It's almost July. I hope I didn't say May in this video. Saturday, June 22nd, the year 2019. And my sinuses are great now. I feel a whole lot better. My nose is, y'all, the last few days, it rained these past few days. It was so much relief. I feel so much better. I could breathe again. For those of you who are concerned about my breathing, I really thank you so much for asking why was I breathing so loud when I was having a tough time breathing with them sinuses acting up. It was terrible. It's a lot better now. I don't know why. This year has been kind of rough this summer. It was so hot, but now the temperatures have dropped and cooled off the water. But anyway, I'm out of here. I look forward to reading you all's comments. Don't forget to click and subscribe to my channel. Y'all welcome to share my videos and stuff. But I am very, very curious to know what you all think should happen to this 15-year-old girl who caused this tragic accident. Anyway, I'm out and enjoy your Saturday. Mm-hmm.